Ever since I've switched to Schaeffer's oil, I've never had a reason to even try anything else. And that's one thing that I'm proud about, is the fact that I can't tell you how good something else is, because I know how good Schaeffer's oil is. My engine builders, Tony and Glenn Clements, have said about the oil we run. They've told us that out of all the motors that they get and rebuild every year, ours looks the best, and a lot of that has to do with the oil that we run. One of the things that I love about Schaeffer's oil is the fact that all of their reps are out in the field and at the racetracks with us, seeing what all the racers need, seeing what ideas we have or anything that we can improve on. And you just can't beat the customer service of having a rep for, you know, one of the main components of our race team, whether it's at our engine oil, transmission fluid, rear end oil. Having somebody there that represents that brand and also gives us some support and also the knowledge that we need to be making the right calls and just helping us out with our entire racing program. It means a lot to our race team to have that. My name's Chris Ferguson, and I drive the number 22 dirt late model. I've been using Schaeffer's oil racing products since 2009. I absolutely have no doubt that we're using the best products that is possible for dirt late model racing.
There's two types of drivers out there. Drivers who know how to protect their investment, and drivers who don't. Car owners who know how to get more miles per gallon, and owners who don't. We're talking people who know their Schaeffer, and people who don't. Which one are you? From cars to trucks to diesel workhorses, whatever you drive, there's a Schaeffer synthetic oil for you. Do you know your Schaeffer? Ask for it at an automotive retailer near you.
Hello and welcome to round number 4 of the Schaeffer's Turbo Series from Watkins Glen International Classic Course. For Race First, I'm Matt Houston, joined by Gary Godso here in the booth. How's it going, Gary?
Hey, it's going great. If I don't get a chance to tell everybody, Happy New Year. Let's get rid of this 2020 once and for all. But hey, if we could look at the positives, let's get out of 2020 on a high note. We get to watch a road course race act as a super speedway.
That's right. So these cars going around Watkins Glen International Classic. This is basically the NASCAR Cup version of this course, minus the bus stop section. So we're going to be running 30 laps here in the Turbo Series. That'll be 73.5 miles. This is, I believe it's 2.45 mile track. And let's get some live pictures up there for you guys out there. How is everybody doing tonight? So we currently have Dakota DeMade, one of our Cup drivers, making a one-off start here tonight, basically getting a little bit of track recon for that Cup race and seeing how the tires work here at the track.
Seemed to work well for Shane Coogan in our last race, and I would expect we'll see more and more of the regular series drivers kind of dip their toe into the Turbo Cup every now and then, just to make sure that they are up to speed and get a little bit extra real-time practice than the rest of their competitors do, and it's probably a good advantage for them.
Yeah, they just want to make sure that they don't use up all of their energy in this particular race, knowing that they're going into another race basically in an hour. That'll be the longer version of tonight's race.
Well, it's not and we were talking about this before we started the stream, it's not an overly technical course. It's one of the few road courses that you are on the accelerator for more than half the lap. I can only think of maybe 3 or 4 road courses like that in the world. Monza, possibly the Indianapolis road course, this one. There might be one other one out there that's not coming to mind immediately. The Nürburgring, the original course, probably, because there's some. Le Mans, there's another one.
Yeah.
So there's a couple out there like that. I don't know if this is an awfully taxing and demanding track, but you are certainly getting around here at a good clip. I mean, you're looking at laps that are well within a minute per lap. Most of the time, we're talking well within the 50 to 60 second range, right there in the middle to get around this place. So there's really not much time to get bored, but it's not a horribly technical track either.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the lap times. They're all between a 56-second lap and a 58-second lap. We've got a couple cars there at the bottom that are just knocking on the door of a 57-second lap there, and Dylan Hearn and Robert Hodel. We've got a little bit south of 2 minutes left in this qualifying session. Dakota DeMade at the top of the pylon at the moment. So going back to that, Gary, you were saying off air about exactly what you just said about Monza and tracks that have all this throttle. I was thinking in the back of my mind that Brands Hatch Indy, is like an oval, but you're not on the accelerator there like you are here. But it definitely does.
Yeah. I think we called that when I was broadcasting that for the TI LMC Gear series at that time when it was called that.
Yeah.
We think we called it the short track of road courses, the short ovals of road courses. Yeah.
So that makes. I was just about to say that it's more like a Gateway or a Phoenix version of a road course, whereas this is like your super speedway version of a road course where you're on the throttle the whole way around.
So we've got under a minute to go. We still got some cars on track trying to get that last second red tire light fuel run to put up that big lap.
Yeah, and even when this clock does tick down, we'll have another minute or two for everybody out there on their hot lap to set whatever they set on, all flying laps count, basically. And I see Jeff Destino Robert Hodel did move into the 57-second lap, so only Dylan Hearn still out there trying to get into the 57-second laps. Really strong lap by Dakota up there, though, so he's showing what it takes to be in that Cup Series, Schaeffer's Cup. So Andrew Spates in fourth position. He was our winner at Montreal. That's our only road course / street course that we've done this season, so he's one to watch.
Couple ambitious runs off of that final turn, ended up into the tire barrier there as you were talking.
Yeah, we've got about a minute left that they're going to let them do all flying laps count. I see Spates is out there. Dakota has pulled it in. He's a 0.6 of a second up.
Destino, Patty, and Hearn are still on track.
Spates just finished a lap. Does not go any faster.
56.8. 57.4 is his last one.
Tony Patty's still out there too, or yeah, he's still out there. We were talking about a lot of guys using that push to pass during the practice session, but not here in the qualifying session.
Nope, it is all up to your skill.
Looks like Tony called it a day. So we're going to have our grid here. Do you have the grid up there, Gary, or I can just run through it myself?
Let me get the grid start. See if we got...
I'll start with row 1. So we've Dakota DeMade in that Voltic pistol car, 56.141. Chris Cothern, 0.6 back in P2. Simon Fell in P3. Andrew Spates in P4. James Watson in P5. Good run by him. Jeff Groff, I think a newcomer to this series here. Don't recall him being in previous races in P6.
All right, 7 through 12, we have Christian Jasper, Christopher Krisky, Jeff Destino, and Robert Hodel in the 12th position.
And our final qualifiers, Tony Patty in the 13th position, and Dylan Hearn bringing up the rear of the field in that number 66.
14 cars.
14 cars in the field. Looks like, I almost forgot it, but we're going to have a full length pace car.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. Well, I was thinking that, so I'll be running in that TI League come Monday night. Be kind of one of my first road course outings, but with this new tire model, you kind of really want to have some time to warm those tires, whereas with that old tire model, the tires were up to temperature almost immediately after 3 corners, whereas this one, it takes a lap or two, so we're going to have to see how that goes here.
For the opening lap here, the rules of the league is go on green, and then after that, the leader dictates when they can go. So the field will be under the command of Dakota, but he's unable to really give her any juice until the flagman says go.
And it looks like we've got a nice Porsche pace car out here. You see often in iRacing, you see that Mustang or the pickup truck, maybe. I don't know which pickup truck it is, but it might be a Silverado. But we get the Porsche out there tonight. And again, only driver, like, I'm trying to think of cup drivers that are out here tonight. I think it's just Dakota. I know Jasper occasionally runs some races, but I think he's mostly full-time turbo driver.
So they're coming through, no bus stop today. The bus is not stopping here in Watkins Glen. It's making the next stop in Syracuse. So no bus stop. Look, it is kind of weird to watch him come down that straight and not make that right-hander and quick left-hander, right-hander, left-hander through that little bus stop chicane there. They're going to be flying through that area. Originally, that was not part of until the second Winston race here. Unfortunately, a driver was killed in that first Winston Cup race where he overshot that. I believe they call it the carousel. Is that what they're calling it? Or
I think you're talking about after the bus stop.
Yeah,
it's the loop.
The loop. That's right. After the loop, nose it into the Armco there and ended up losing his life as a result. So they decided to slow them down a little bit, put the bus stop back there, and the bus stop has been a mainstay ever since. Honestly, I like to see the Cup Series full course, be like the big boys they really are and use the full course, but no, they use a short course for the time being. So kudos to IndyCar for doing it the right way.
Yeah.
But tonight we get to watch them on the fast course, and this is going to be really insane.
And like here at iRacing, we get to occasionally have these special kind of races where we get to run tracks that IndyCar doesn't actually run. So we have green flag.
A bit of a slow start there in mid-pack. Car really getting ambitious run there to the inside. I'm not sure who that one is. Dakota. Oh, and
we've got some contact in the back. Several cars off. Back at turn one, it looks like Dakota's going to. We've got Jeff Groff, Tony Patty, Robert Hodel, and we'll get a replay of what went on back there. It looks like Jason Owens made it through. Gonna hold off on the replay here for a moment as we head into the loop for the first time. Yes, Cothern had a good move.
Yeah, he does. We got Dakota, Cothern, Fell, Spates, Freeze, Watson, Jasper, Destino, Kresge, and Hearn are your top 10. Looks like those are all the guys that pretty much made it through that first little fracas there in the first corner. But we're getting ready to come to the last corner of the first lap here, and Dakota is trying to put some space between himself and second place.
Well, with that first lap completed, let's go back and see if we can find a replay of what happened there. One moment while I bring this up. Whoa, we had one car. I'm not sure who that was. Let's see if we can figure out who it was. Hodel just like really flew into the first corner, bonsai style. We can see it.
I saw someone drop to the inside, and it looked like even from that angle when we started to change cameras, I was like, wow, it's a bit of an ambitious move there on the first turn on the first lap. Yeah. Remember, folks, you got many, many turns and many, many laps to make this stuff fall up. There's no reason to try to win the race in the first turn.
Yeah, this was looked like a torpedo here from Robert Hodel. I'm watching on board here. Yeah, he just completely misses his braking, and I think he opted to go, like he positioned his car to try not to take out a couple cars in front of him, and he flew past them, but then hit a couple other cars. So I think they do get a faster pair here on the road course. We'll have to see if they continue. Anyway, back to live pictures.
So you get 10 push-to-pass instances, and it looks like Dakota's already used 2. I show him as having 8 now. Cothern still has his full 10. Spates has 10. Watson has 8. And Freeze is down to 9 now.
Yeah, basically, Dakota wants to break out of slipstream, out of, Cothern out of the slipstream, so that he doesn't have any run. Once he can do that, then it's almost race over unless Dakota makes a mistake. But it's at a second right now, so there would be still a slipstream at that point as they head through the S's.
Well, Cothern's still within a second. We pretty much determined that the slipstream effect is about valid for about a second and a half behind one of these cars, so he's still within that reach. And plus, they're running the high downforce road course package that punches a huge hole in the air, so he's trying every bit to stay in that slipstream.
Good race here for third position between Watson taking over that third position over Spates. Jasper has moved up a couple spots from 7th, and he's under pressure from Kresge. And Destino, really good move up so far. He started 11th up to 7th.
All it takes is a smart driver to avoid some of those.
As Destino gets off of the final corner, goes wide, but then puts it into the tire barrier at the attenuator. Right as we were saying that.
Broadcaster's jinx.
Broadcaster's jinx right there. As Kresge got around Jasper as well during all of that.
So Dakota currently with the purple lap of the session at a 56.601. Last lap by Kresge and Patty with their fastest laps of the session so far. They just went green.
I saw Kresge kind of guard that inside line into the loop. He's even using a little bit of curb.
Dakota went purple in Sector 1 and Sector 2. So he might have a bit of a faster lap coming through this time. Let's see. Not quite. Had a slower Sector 3 at a 56.774. So
Cothern's still right there, and you can see different lines for Cothern versus DeMade there. Cothern's taking a really wide line through turn 1.
He's trying to maintain as much speed as possible. That's probably what he's doing with the wider line there.
Yeah. I mean, that all the NASCARs generally do run that line, but it works even in the IndyCar. So it looks like somewhere in there, Cothern dropped a couple tenths, and he's just about out of that slipstream zone. He's knocking on the door of being out of that.
Yeah, we're only 6 of 30 in, and Dakota's down to 6 push to passes. He's really trying to get that, as they like to say in the England on the subway tubes, to mind the gap, to make that gap as big as possible.
That's right, and he's got to be using it here. We'll see if I'm on board with him through the S's, and I would imagine he uses it going into onto this back straightaway here until the loop, but I'm not seeing him on it yet. So you can see that those RPMs really bogged down into that 6th gear.
It's from Jasper on push to pass. Total Patty and Spates with their fastest laps last time by.
Yeah, Patty involved in that first lap incident. He's survived. He's still out there.
By virtue of surviving that first lap incident and some misfortune of some others, Hearn is up 6. He's your big mover. Fell is your, I guess, the one that's having the most disappointing day, down 9.
And he's on pit lane, I believe. Is he back out? No, he is back out. You're right. So we had a couple cars still on pit lane. Well, Destino, did Groff get back out? Yeah, Groff, everybody's back out from that first lap incident, other than Destino was involved in that single car incident that we saw.
And I believe Fell is the only one on the alternate compound now. I'm going to try to find him, see what... Yeah, he is on the hards. Everyone else is on the reds on the course right now.
Yeah, I would.
Fell, according to rules and regulations, he's good to go with tire changes for the rest of the race.
That is correct. With that said, Cothern did come back a couple tenths in the last lap or so. You have to wonder, so these red tires, Dakota's running those red tires, they might be hitting that period where they kind of fall off the cliff. But Cothern's running that too, so I have to see who's better at managing those tires. It looks like Cothern dropped that.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. All the guys that pretty much pitted because of damage, and they're on the fresher set of tires, which is Friesfeld, Groff, and Destino, all did green laps last time by, so they're in the special space for their tires right now. But Dakota still with the purple. The 56.601 is still your fast lap of the session. We're 9 of 30, so we're a third of the way to go. So do you look at this race now as if it's a 30-lap race? Do you go 15-15? Do the Reds make it that long? Or do you want to go maybe 10 and then 20? Or what would you do?
That's a good point. So I believe the fuel tank can do 24 laps. But if I was doing this, I'd pit halfway, I think is what it depends on traffic, though. Like if I was the leader and I saw a lap car ahead, then I would duck into the pits at 15, like you said. So I think anybody could make that pit stop now, but again, you're coming out into lap traffic if that happens, possibly. So most of these guys don't have spotters, that don't have crew chiefs, so nobody to tell them that, hey, if you pit right now, you're going to come out and you're going to be behind, say, 5th position. So that's a point for staying out there and just running to lap 23, 24. As Jason Owens looking on the outside into the loop over Jasper. It looks like he's going to take it on the outside. So there's some good battling here. While we were talking, Kresge, Jasper got back around Kresge, and then I saw Owens getting around Kresge. Now Kresge's getting around Jasper, and Owens got around both of them. As Kresge's hitting the pits.
Oh, first pit stops. We got Watson in as well. So the leaders are starting to hit pit road.
It looks like Jasper and Kresge. Owens did not hit the pits.
Watson.
Okay, yep. So Owens.
So I would consider these regularly scheduled stops. Now, I don't know if they're going to go 10-10 or what, or if you guys are going to be good to go after that. I'm looking at Watson's wheels now. They are not showing the red sidewalls, so he has the harder compound. So by rules and regulations, he is good to go to the finish for tires. He is also good to go to the finish for fuel if he chooses to do that. So I don't know what strategies we got going out there. I would imagine, though, personally, just as my school of thought, even on ovals, the less that you're standing still, the better. I would want to make as few stops as possible and to go one stop and be done. But some people might do two if they find that they're faster. I don't know. Yeah,
so I'm thinking that those, Dakota's out here on the Reds, and he's the leader. He's the fastest car out here, and he is second off of his best lap. He's on lap 12 of the run, and his tires have basically fallen off that cliff. Those black sidewall tires should last longer. So if these guys that are pitting with 18 laps to go, they're going to be wanting to run the black tires till the end of the race is what I think the strategy call would be. As Cothern has
some time off there.
Yeah, so he is maybe managing these tires just a little bit better than Dakota is up there, staying right in that range. I think they're nursing these tires, though.
Yeah, Kother with a bit of a wider exit off of one. He was up and over the rumble strips, whereas Dakota was underneath them. I don't think that really matters. It just probably shows that he's taken a slightly wider arc into that corner, Cothern is.
And we've got Owens on the pit lane. He was up to third position. Kresge is now on pit lane as well. So basically everybody from third position back will have stopped here. And now Cothern has brought that gap. It was 1.5 seconds, has brought it down to 0.8 as it ticks back up to a second. And it actually ticked up to 1.3, so you might have had a slight bobble in a corner. It's not difficult to do. I really, though, I think that Dakota here, DeMade in P1, is really maybe struggling with these tires, though. But I think everybody out here on these Reds is struggling with them. I just feel like they're a little bit slower through these corners than they were earlier.
Well, we're at 14 of 30, so we'll see. He's making the pass by the bus stop here, coming into the loop. So we'll shortly see if he makes that extra left-hand turn on the pit road after coming off the final quarter, or if he goes one more lap.
Yeah, and I was talking about how you probably, as the leader, didn't want to pit too early because you didn't want to pit and then see a car that was lapped get ahead of you, or hasn't pit, get ahead of you and hold you up. But now that everybody from third position back has pit, that's no longer an issue, and he can pit and he'll come out back in the lead, I think, unless Cothern has a great pit stop.
Yeah, it looks like he of course he bypassed pit road that time, so we'll see if he makes a dive next time. But it's him and Cothern, and then the next closest car is 39 seconds back, give or take, which is Watson. Yeah. So there's plenty of time on the pit road. Pit road here is not horribly bad, 40 per hour. It does seem ageingly slow when you are running in an IndyCar, but still at a 45-mile-per-hour pit road speed, he should be able to get in, out, and serviced and everything before that car makes its way around and jump position.
So if I was Cothern here, I think I would try to do an undercut. I would pit, knowing that I've caught up to DeMade up there, and he seems to be struggling on tires.
Oh,
and they're both going to hit the pit lane.
Yeah, just as that, Cothern was on push to pass, so he was trying to close the gap on his in lap, and I don't know if they both planned this or he just and he's going to be reacting.
Yeah,
I think it's a good move either way that these guys are making the pit now at the halfway point.
Yep. So that goes back to what we were talking about. How what do you do? And everybody opted for the early pit on those red tires. Looking, so Hodel involved in that first lap incident. How many laps is he on? Okay, so he pit last lap. He had not pit for a while there, so I was just double checking there.
Okay, so Dakota on reds again.
Okay. Well, I believe the rule is the two different compounds is only for the Cup Series.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we have both Dakota and Chris are on the reds, so they have opted to go to the reds one more stint.
So I see Julian Altena out there in the broadcast watching kind of what the strategies do here tonight, researching for the Cup race here tonight, later on. So with Dakota leading here, he's running that Voltic pistol car. This is going to be the last time we see this car. He's going to be switching over to a new livery next week for the Indianapolis race. Let's do a shout out to Voltic Pistol out there. It's currently on sale on Steam. You can grab it for $5. Now here's the trailer for it. And we're back. So Robert Hodel, Dakota's reached some lap traffic, and they gentlemanly get out of the way. Now we'll see if they do the same thing for Cothern here, because he has dropped back a little bit. He's opted for the red tires as well. You might have mentioned that already, Gary.
Heard Dakota give Robert a thank you for that. Robert is on the inside for going down the back straight here, so he is trying to concede the position to Cothern. Yep.
Cothern tried to get that slipstream, but even when you are a lapped car and you're in that slipstream, there's not really a big difference in the gap on the speed there. So let's do a through the field. We're 12 laps to go in this race. So Dakota DeMade started P1. Running P1. Chris Cothern started second, running in second. Watson started 5th up to 3rd. He's in that Lionel Racing car. He's been running that since season 1, actually. Andrew Spates started 4th, also in 4th. So our top 4 are basically where they started. But Jason Owens here, he started 10th. He's in that Riley Children's Hospital car. And he's currently running in 5th. So really good run by him. He's got right behind him Chris Greske, one of our admins, as I saw Owens lock it up just a little bit into the first corner, and Jasper right behind him. So these group of cars is just probably our best battle on the track right here. As Kresge's going to look, Owens goes to defend down the back straightaway.
Othern, purple in sector 1 last lap by, green in sector 2, so that's his best sector 2 of the race.
So Kresge just made it around Owens, and I thought for a moment Owens was going to get into the back of Kresge, but...
There's your purple lap. Cothern, purple lap, 56.597. 56.597 last time by.
Wow, fast lap.
New fast lap, yep.
Well, I'll be keeping an eye on that battle here as I watch the battle for 5th position between Kresge, Owens, and Jasper. I think Jasper is going to have a really good run on, well, Owens and Kresge here. I think we're going to have some passes here as we head into the loop, through the S's, into the loop.
Both went green on their last lap by, so everyone is again hitting the sweet spot of their tires just after the last round of pit stops.
As Owens looks inside of Kresge into the loop. Can't quite make it stick, though. And Jasper looks inside as they head back onto the straightaway here. Through the heel is what was that what we were calling it earlier, Gary? That Dakota
it's more of a Dakota thing, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, as we have Kresge off the track for a moment, but gets back on. We almost had a collision there. As, we have Owens... I don't know if he was opting to go to the pits or something, but he's lost it out of the final corner. We'll get a replay of that.
Last time by with a 907. Cothern last time by with a 997. So Dakota with a slightly faster lap.
Ooh, and so Owens, I don't know if he was opting for the pit lane, because I don't think he needed to pit. I don't know. Tough break for him, though, as we head back up to the leader. So that last lap for Cothern, though, he dropped back. He had those couple really hot laps.
Last lap, Dakota with a 56.804, Cothern with a 57.107. So he lost a little bit of time there.
Yeah, it looks like Dakota responded to those fast laps. And I don't know, you have the push-to-pass information. Actually, I've got it here, too.
Dakota's down to 4, and Cothern is down to 6.
Yes.
Watson with 4, Spates with 6, Jasper with 6, Kresge with 3. Owens is Winchester. He is out. Hearn with 7, and Hodel, he's still shooting with full guns there. He's got 10 still.
As a lapped car heads to the pit lane. So, you've got to wonder, so with this tire model, as it looks like Cothern was a little bit faster that last lap, but if you use up these red tires too quickly, between these two guys, we saw a couple really good laps by Cothern. You have to wonder if maybe he's used up those tires too much now, although that last lap was pretty good as well. But at the moment, Cothern out here with the fastest lap of the race. I want to look ahead, though, just for a moment, but I wonder if anybody in that cup race is going to, in qualifying, is going to be into the 55 seconds. Kind of looking forward to seeing if Caleb or Alex, any of our top guns are going to be able to get in there.
I tell you, I was in a practice session just to kind of do some recon for the course to kind of see how it is, so I can accurately tell you what's going on when we see these drivers throw these guys around. But Alex is extremely quick, and the way that I know he's extremely quick is he literally ran me over. I was coming into one of the turns, and I am not a fast road course racer, but I was that particular session I was middle of the pack, which is actually pretty good for me. And the last turn, or last set of turns, I saw him coming, and I braked, and he didn't expect me to brake, and he was right up into me. And I'm like, yeah, man. He's like, sorry about that. And I'm like, well, yeah, but I'm not nearly as fast as you. So we know that he could definitely throw it around here if he has to.
I'm going on board with Cothern here for a moment just to get we haven't done much of this, but a good ride around the track here. We'll start and do a full lap for you guys out there.
That push to pass, and he's got it within a second and a half.
I'm showing he's down to 1.2, 1.3.
Yep. Under a second and a half there, 1.3. Track temperature is dropping, so that should help the age of the red tires a little bit.
Yeah, just a little bit. I've heard all different kinds of things about these red tires. I did run a quick race at Barber with them, and I really didn't notice any fall off at all. But then I've heard some from running from Spa this week in the official series that the tire fall off is horrible at that track, is what I've heard. And we've got Long Beach coming up here in the TI League, and it seems like tire fall off is going to be an issue there. As Cothern down to 0.8 of a second. Was he on? I didn't see him on push to pass there, but
right there on green.
Okay. Yeah, my dash did not light up on that, but he's certainly into the closest he's been now.
Now, I can see the red tire Spa, considering how fast of a course that is and some of the high-speed corners they have.
Yeah.
Whereas I could see how they wouldn't fall off necessarily at Barber, because Barber isn't necessarily as high speed of a course as Spa is. So that would make sense, I guess. But yeah, he's really cut into that lead.
Yeah,
he's shaved
he's
it
down
half.
to 0.6 at this point, and I'm just staying on board with him as he is on push to pass right now. I did see that light up. This is where I would be on push to pass for sure.
Still has Dakota's still 3.
That last lap by Dakota was a 57.4 to Cothern's 56.8. So Cothern's going to make Dakota earn this one if he happens to win it. But at this point, we got 0.3, 0.5.
4 to go, coming at the line.
Wow. 4 laps.
Let's get
to
the
go.
lap times here. Get the lap times here. Dakota with the 56.840. And Cothern with the 56.821, slightly faster, and he is all
Cothern has one more push to pass in the bank than DeMade has here. He is on it.
Oh, here we go. He's on the push to pass. Dakota, whoa, okay, he's looking for a little bit of side draft there, maybe. Dakota in the defensive position, coming into the loop. Let's see what happens here.
They go side by side into the loop, and
still side by side.
Side by side.
That is a great. We're going to over. Oh, okay. So as they recover a little bit, he's probably just going to collect himself, stay in the. Going to be able to make the path here.
Dakota was on push to pass there as well through that, because he's down to 2, Cothern down to 3. I think we're going to see the same thing's going to happen the next 3 laps here as we head into that 3 laps to go.
Line.
He drops back just slightly.
Dakota with the 57.517, Cothern with the 57.598. So Dakota slightly faster that time around.
Yeah, with that side by side, they were running pretty much, the same there. But yeah,
not this time. He's not on push to pass.
Cothern is on push to pass. I'm seeing.
Okay,
but
hasn't lit up for me yet.
Dakota is not on push to pass though. So now they are even on push to pass is what I'm showing.
Deuce is wild here. Everyone has 2. He's back closer, coming into the last 2-turn complex before the main straight.
I think Dakota's going to be a little exhausted here going into that cup race. As Cothern drops back just a little bit. I'm actually on board with Cothern. It's kind of the best view that we have of this battle. He is on his push to pass.
Yep, he's down to 1 push after this.
I don't see Dakota on his push to pass.
No, he is not, and he is eating that distance up right now. You can clearly see it closing on the screen here. He's looking to the outside. Dakota takes a defensive.
Whoa, he really drives hard in there on the outside.
Did a little bit of the Pruitt fade there, but that's okay. It's okay. Exiting off the loop. We're going to come down to a great finish here.
Yeah, we are.
These guys racing each other very cleanly, very defensively.
White flag comes out.
Dakota's got those 2 push to passes. He's going to definitely use them here.
Cawthorn looks a little bit in better position than he was last lap.
Right high, goes high, he goes high. Oh! Wow, that was close. That was real close. Both kind of overshot that corner just a little bit.
Cawthorn's on the push to pass.
He is using his last push. Dakota has 1 push left.
Looks like Dakota is on his push to pass as well. But Cawthorn has that slipstream, looks outside once again.
Not going to get it. And he's out of push to passes, and Dakota has 1 left. And Dakota is using it now.
He's just not quite going to drive away because of that slipstream, but just has to bring it home 2 more corners. And he just has 1 more corner to go. Dakota DeMade is going to take victory here in the Schaeffer's Turbo Cup.
The monkey is off the back.
That is
the monkey is off the back.
First victory in the Reddit IndyCar League. And Julian Altina made his first win in the Reddit League here in this series last week as well. Even though they're full-time in the Cup Series there. Well, we will be right back, and we'll bring up our victor here, and I bet we're going to be getting some donuts here at some point. Although you might want to save the engine for the next race, I'm not sure. Trying to find a good camera angle for him to do it.
PP2.
Yeah. It's not too close, though. Maybe
and he banks the wall.
Yeah, of course. it happens. Maybe the chopper. Yeah, the chopper is a good camera angle. Here he goes. There's not much space to do such a thing. And there he bangs it up again. Again, he gets a fresh car later. Doesn't care about the engine.
Look at that tire just flopping around.
Yeah, I see that. And that's all she wrote, folks. We'll get him up here in the booth momentarily. We'll be right back once again. And we're back here. We'll bring up Dakota. Hey, Dakota, it's Matt in the booth. Congratulations on this victory here. Tell us about your race.
I did it, Matt. I finally did it. I'm not cursed anymore. I can finally win again. Prime, or alt was the way to go on that race. Car was getting super loose the last 5 laps of the stint. Chris, I know he was hanging back about 1.5 seconds throughout the race. I was trying to use push to pass just to keep a 2-second gap so he couldn't get the toe. But I had to save my push to passes just in case if he got to me. And he did on the final 3 laps or so. That was a close race. I had 2 push to passes left on that final lap and I used them. And without them, Chris would have gotten by me. So that's what made the difference.
There was one point in the race, we did have the data, where he did have 1 up on you in push to passes, but heading into that final lap, we saw you had 2. So, we knew once he used up his last one that it was looked to be pretty clear sailing for you, but it was a great battle for us up here in the booth. Probably the best battle we've had in this Turbo Series. Congratulations on the victory. Anything else you want to say out there?
Shout out to the squad. They might be watching. I don't know. Alyssa, I know she's watching right now. Sunset Arctic Games has a new announcement soon. Stay tuned for that. Follow me on Twitter at Sunset Arctic. Sunset Arctic Games also partnered with Team Raceverse for the Elvor and TI Racing Series coming up. So if you guys need a team to root for me.
That's right. We're happy to have you here. We're going to be running on Saturdays and Mondays, and
the monkey's off the back, man.
So
you got to be happy. You got to be happy about that.
I am happy. I am happy.
No more bridesmaid. No more bridesmaid. Yeah.
How do you feel having?
Am I still Gary? Am I still Tom Sneva?
Well, we got to let that ride for a couple more weeks.
Okay, got it.
Okay, yeah.
Got it.
How do you feel like having to go in and do another 40 laps here in about an hour?
I feel good. I'm gonna be more consistent, I think, on alt tires. Since I didn't really get a stint in with the prime tires, I'm still not quite sure what to expect, but I think I have a good idea of how the race is going to go tonight. Hoping for a top 5.
Sounds good. Do you think anybody, including yourself, can get into the 55s during qualifying?
I'm not sure. You have to hit the toe, so it's kind of a flip a coin situation. If the guy in front of you can keep up his pace, so it's possible, but I'm not quite sure. We'll see it.
You'd almost have to hit the toe, but then have that car pull out of the way in the loop section so that you're not getting dirty air in that section.
And then pick up another toe after the loop.
That's right. Well, again, congratulations on the victory. Like Gary said, monkey off the back, and we'll see if you can do. Nobody's done a double victory. Julian was close last week for a while, doing like the double 2 weeks ago at Homestead, where he won the turbo, and then he had some issues going to the pits in the Cup race, but he was leading some early on in that one too.
Yeah. Hopefully fate works out better for me this time.
That's right. Well, we'll see you here coming up in the Cup race. We're going to go through the final positions here, the results for this one. And we'll talk to you in a bit.
All right. Thank you, Matt.
Yep.
Thank you, Gary.
Congrats.
Thank you.
Congrats. Okay, so results for this race, if I can get them pulled up. Dakota Maid, our victor there in first place. Chris Cothern, P2. James Watson, good run up to P3. Andrew Spates, our victor from Montreal in P4. Christopher Kreski, I knew he wanted to have a good run here, and I think he'll be happy with that 5th position. Christian Jasper in P6. Jason Owens comes back for a 7th. He had that contact, but it was right before pit lane, so maybe that wasn't the end of the world for him. Then we've got John Fries, Robert Hodel in 9th, Dylan Hearn, Tony Patty, Simon Feld, Jeff Groff, and Jeff Testino. We saw him get heavy into the barriers there. But we're going to be broadcaster jinx. But we focus on other cars too. We didn't jinx anybody. We didn't jinx Dakota there, for instance. But yeah, we'll be back here. You got anything more to say there, Gary?
Well, yeah, I believe James is going to be James Watson is going to be pretty clear near the top if he's not already at the top of the leaderboard. I have to look at his points there, but he was up near the top, so he might be the leader now. If not, he's close to it. Chris Cothern, guy's got nothing to be ashamed about. He finished second on the podium, but he also has that fast lap with the 56.597 to hang his hat on. So a good showing overall. So the guys that are normally regulars in the Turbo Cup, even though they lost to a Schaeffer Cup regular, they have absolutely nothing to hang their head on. They took this one right to the end. So the junior series shouldn't really be called the junior series in this way because there was only a slight margin of victory for this one. It just happened that Dakota was able to manage those reds and his push to passes a little bit better. But Dakota led every single lap, and the monkey's off his back, and see if that correlates into a win, so he can do the sweep for the weekend for the next race.
Well, that'll be all. A really good point about Cothern and getting that fastest lap. But we're going to be out here for about the next half hour. That's when Schaeffer's Cup qualifying will start. And from there, the race will be at 9:45. So stay tuned, folks.
There's two types of drivers out there. Drivers who know how to protect their investment and drivers who don't. Car owners who know how to get more miles per gallon and owners who don't. We're talking people who know their Schaeffer and people who don't. Which one are you? From cars to trucks to diesel workhorses, whatever you drive, there's a Schaeffer synthetic oil for you. Do you know your Schaeffer? Ask for it at an automotive retailer near you.
Ever since I've switched to Schaeffer's oil, I've never had a reason to even try anything else. And that's one thing that I'm proud about, is the fact that I can't tell you how good something else is, because I know how good Schaeffer's oil is. My engine builders, Tony and Glenn Clements, have said about the oil we run. They've told us that out of all the motors that they get and rebuild every year, ours looks the best, and a lot of that has to do with the oil that we run. One of the things that I love about Schaeffer's oil is the fact that all of their reps are out in the field and at the racetracks with us, seeing what all the racers need, seeing what ideas we have or anything that we can improve on. And you just can't beat the customer service of having a rep for, one of the main components of our race team, whether it's at our engine oil, transmission fluid, rear end oil. Having somebody there that represents that brand and also gives us support and also the knowledge that we need to be making the right calls and just helping us out with our entire racing program. It means a lot to our race team to have that. My name's Chris Ferguson, and I drive the number 22 dirt late model. I've been using Schaeffer's oil racing products since 2009. I absolutely have no doubt that we're using the best products that is possible for dirt late model racing. Ever since I've switched to Schaeffer's oil, I've never had a reason to even try anything else. And that's one thing that I'm proud about, is the fact that I can't tell you how good something else is, because I know how good Schaeffer's oil is. My engine builders, Tony and Glenn Clements, have said about the oil we run. They've told us that out of all the motors that they get and rebuild every year, ours looks the best, and a lot of that has to do with the oil that we run. One of the things that I love about Schaeffer's oil is the fact that all of their reps are out in the field and at the racetracks with us, seeing what all the racers need, seeing what ideas we have or anything that we can improve on. And you just can't beat the customer service of having a rep for, you know, one of the main components of our race team, whether it's at our engine oil, transmission fluid, rear end oil. Having somebody there that represents that brand and also gives us support and also the knowledge that we need to be making the right calls and just helping us out with our entire racing program. It means a lot to our race team to have that. My name's Chris Ferguson, and I drive the number 22 dirt late model. I've been using Schaeffer's oil racing products since 2009. I absolutely have no doubt that we're using the best products that is possible for dirt late model racing.
There's two types of drivers out there. Drivers who know how to protect their investment, and drivers who don't. Car owners who know how to get more miles per gallon, and owners who don't. We're talking people who know their Schaeffer, and people who don't. Which one are you? From cars to trucks to diesel workhorses, whatever you drive, there's a Schaeffer synthetic oil for you. Do you know your Schaeffer? Ask for it at an automotive retailer near you.
Hello and welcome to the main event of the night, round number 4 of the Schaeffer's Cup from Watkins Glen International Course. For Race First, I'm Matt Houston, joined by Gary Gotso. I think we're going to be having another great race here after that turbo race here, Gary. Now we've got almost 30 cars in the field, and we're in qualifying with about 12 minutes to go right now.
Yeah, you said it, man. It's like Apollo Creed stepping into the ring and saying ding, ding, because this is what it's going to be like for these guys. We got 26 or so cars that are going to be on this. It's going to be flying around. It's going to be madness, really. Where do we look the first lap? I don't know, but we're going to try our best.
That's right. And good Rocky reference, because I was actually watching those a couple days ago, going through those movies, the classic American movie, I'd say.
If you're going to watch Stallone films, those are the one to watch. Do not watch Driven.
True. Of course, Rambo is also pretty good too.
Okay, all right, we're good there. Yeah.
So currently top of the board is Caleb Bensi with a 56.528, but we did see about 0.6 of a second faster in practice, but again, that was with possibly push to pass, possibly toes, although they can get all the toes they want out here in qualifying, as Sanders just did stepped up to P2. DeMade there, our winner from the Turbo Cup, in P3. So I'm trying to get my leaderboard up here so I can change cars. But yeah, Sanders was our fastest car in the practice session. He did a 55.7. I think Gary told me that was a 155 mile an hour average lap around here. That's pretty fast for a road course.
Yes.
Yeah, it really is. Sanders, he was coming through the first corner, but right before that, he was dodging carbon fiber in that corner. So occasionally, Gary, I'm getting a little bit of your crew chief, just FYI. I got it a little bit last race, but then it kind of went away for a while, so I don't know why it went away, but I got it for a moment there. But that's all good.
He's good. He's good for like letting you know temperature and stuff. We'll turn him down. But Sanders to the top there.
Okay, so Caleb is going to have to respond to that, and he's actually maybe not quite in the slipstream, but he's behind as wow. He had some issues coming into the loop there. He's probably going to head to the pits and get some fresh skippies, I would imagine, fresh tires. as we saw in the Turbo Series race, these tires kind of fall off that cliff. And these drivers just kind of want to burn fuel, and maybe in the last 5 minutes they're going to set those hot laps as Caleb does stay out there.
Yeah, I'm hearing on the track some cars doing the burning the fuel bit. As they're coming in, they're on the clutch trying to burn off fuel. So probably what they're trying to do is burn off as much fuel as possible, come in, get a fresh set of reds, go back out, cut a couple new laps, burn as much fuel as possible, come in, do another set of reds, go back out. So we've got a lot of strategery going on out there as folks are trying to lighten the load and get the maximum use out of those reds.
I'm going to mention to be careful doing such a thing since the update in iRacing. I'm not sure. There's a little bit more engine wear factored in with high engine temperatures, whereas we know the drivers used to bang against that rev limiter under caution. I've seen some people doing it, but I've also seen more engine disintegrations since the new patch, so you got to be careful doing that.
They're kind of on their own. Sometimes strategy can come back and bite you in the rear if you try to take advantage of it too much. And we'll see how some of these guys that are doing it, if there's any fall off in their performance because their engine is a little bit more nuked than it should be.
That's right. So Forsyth back for this race here, currently running in qualified provisionally P5. He was our victor. What was that? The Michigan race, I believe. He was the victor.
I know. Yes.
That's right. Wasn't here for Homestead though, which was a little surprising. So we've got Matthew Cosgrove up here, up to P4. Kind of some new names. I was looking just at the leaderboard, and same back there in the Turbo Series, that a lot of drivers really liking this particular track. It's suiting them more so than maybe some of the other road courses that we've seen on the schedule in Season 1 and with Montreal. But Montreal was a little bit of, that was a tough race for everybody because we had that update come out, and then
30 cars showed up.
And then 30 cars showed up, and yeah, I really was not expecting that, and nobody was used to the tire model, but we saw Caleb Bensi take victory there, and a great battle with Gavin Sanders, and we can see that possibly we're going to have another great battle between these two drivers.
I don't want to besmirch any of the drivers here. I'm going to put this more against my ability of a poor road course racer versus their ability to road course race. But this is not a horribly technical track without the inner loop or without the boot. Without the boot, without the inner loop, it's not very technical at all. So this is kind of a road course in this particular configuration that really appeals to even the oval racers in us, and that's more me. And I'm not saying anything bad about the technical ability of all these guys, but even during the test sessions, I'm mid-pack with these guys, so I don't have a lot of road course skill, and even I'm able to hang. So I think what we're going to see here is just a bunch of fun fast laps, and it's not a horribly technical track, and it's just a matter of fact. It's just nothing against what anyone's doing or whatever, anyone's ability. It's just a matter of fact that it's not a very technical track.
As we see DeMade go to the top of the board, our winner from the Turbo Series earlier, and it looks like he's going to back off on this lap, but he's at the top of the board right now, provisional pole. We were talking to him earlier. Could he do the sweep? No driver's done it yet. Win both the Turbo Series race and the Cup race. As another car goes off right in front of him, so that's going to... He's going to have to dodge that one, and I see another car, and he's going to duck into the pits.
Oh, and we got a car that swapped ends in the pits there.
Yeah, I see that, because I went to look at Sanders. He's coming out of the pits, so he won't be on a hot lap for the moment. Bensi's caught up to... I think John Freeze might be running two different liveries. Yes, so he was running the... U.S. Army livery in the previous race. He was in the Turbo race, and now he's running that blue livery. It says Jeppesen on the side? I think it's an aircraft, something related to aircraft. Maybe you can get a better look at that one, Gary.
Getting a zoom in on him here.
Yeah, Jeppesen is what I read, but the car was going by at 100 miles an hour, so it was hard to read. Back here in 9th is Alex Van de Zandt, and I know he's really quick at Watkins Glen, but that was the races I've been in with him for have been the with the boot section, the more traditional IndyCar course that they run here. They don't run the Classic Cup version. Gary, do you know if IndyCar ever? Well, I guess so. When Formula One ran Watkins Glen, did IndyCar run in the 70s or 80s run this track? But
yeah, they did run in the 60s, 70s, and early 80s. IndyCar did come here, but they were running the boot portion. The shorter version of the track really didn't come into being, so to speak, until and there's Dakota giving the boot to Freeze in turn 1. But anyways, the it's really created for the Winston Cup series at the time, NASCAR series at the time, mainly because of their non-technical road course ability. They wanted to give some road course left and rights there, but nothing horribly technical to appease every member of the field. So for the longest time, unless you were watching maybe some sports car races, maybe some other types of SCCA type races, they never really opened the boot portion up to anybody until IndyCar came back in the mid 2000s.
yeah, that was when IndyCar, as in the IRL version of IndyCar, decided to start running a couple road courses in the season. First it was St. Pete, and then they ran Watkins Glen that season. One of my best memories of Watkins Glen in recent times was that Justin Wilson win for Dale Coyne, getting their very first win after 25 years of running an IndyCar, and finally getting that win. And I believe it was 2009.
Yeah, they were 0 forever. 0 for forever.
yeah, and they beat as Van de Zandt just goes to the top of the board there. So moving from P6 to P1. I think he had a good toe on that one, possibly. So that was the question I had, though. Talking about the race, I was talking about history there, but we have a car in the 55s was the question I asked to Dakota in his victory interview, and we've had it.
So right now the top 10 is Van de Zandt, Sanders, DeMade, Forsyth, Albee, Vinci, Cosgrove, Isidoro, Altena, and Herman. Those are your top 10 right now with about a minute and 40 seconds to go.
I think Julian Altena is going to be a little disappointed in this current place that he's at. So let's see if he can do a little bit better. But the times at the front are just really, really close.
Yeah, you could cover really the top 12 spots with a second.
That's right.
A single second.
Alex is almost 3/10. It's 0.275 over Sanders. So it's a pretty good gap there. But as we have a minute left in qualifying, although fast laps will count after the bell, as going back to your Rocky metaphor.
Yep.
They have the best wife, actually, Gary. Can you believe this? That she wanted to watch Rocky movies here in the last week. So that's what we were doing.
Hey, nothing wrong with that. Although it's debatable who has the best wife.
Yeah, I won't have you go there. I'm not going to let you do that. We don't want Gary in the doghouse here.
Actually, if I ever got my wife started on Van de Zandt going wide and the loop there, I think he was just getting out of the way of Forsyth. If I ever got her on this, she probably, we would have to buy a whole second computer, a whole second account, a whole other wheel, which is fine with me because I want the new wheel. She can have and she will want to do this. She is a huge racing fan. Back in the day, she was a huge Al Unser Jr. fan. With her, she was showing me when we first started to get together, and I think I still have it here stored. She had a Nintendo entertainment system as a kid, and one of her games she had was Al Unser Jr. Racing.
Oh yeah, I remember that one.
Yeah, but one of our not a very first dates, but one of our first larger dates is that she bought us tickets to the 93 500, and who won that one but Al Unser Jr. But yeah, so she's a big racing fan, and I think if she were to ever try this iRacing thing, she would be pretty much addicted to it right off the bat. So I don't really want her to try it too much.
Yeah, and obviously the costs of iRacing are also there. With buying all these tracks again, can you imagine that?
My God, yeah.
So Alex Van de Zandt's going to be our pole sitter, and one of his LMC gear, this is in another series, they're not teammates here in the Reddit League because we don't run teams here, but lmcgear.com teammates and Craig Forsyth in second place, so really good showing by them. Let's actually head to the grid because we've got a lot to cover here, Gary. So I'm going to start off, let me make sure we have it correctly. Okay, so we have Alex Van de Zandt, as we already mentioned, 55.868, followed by Craig Forsyth in P2, Gavin Sanders in P3, Dakota DeMade, our victor from that turbo race earlier, in P4, Julian Altina moving up, I think he'd be happy with that P5. Maybe he'd rather be in the top 3, but I think he'd be happy with that. Christopher Albee in that Papyrus IndyCar Racing 1. Is it IndyCar Racing 1 livery, or is it IndyCar Racing 2 livery there?
2.
Okay. In P6, and moving on.
We got the champ, the belt holder, the number 1 guy, Caleb Bency running in 7th, Dylan Blanton in 8th, Nicholas Isidro in 9th, Matthew in 10th, Hayden Herman in 11th, and Adam Nash in 12th.
And in 13th, top 5 in points, Mark Johnson. So I think he'll be a little bit disappointed with this qualifying position, but these times are just so close together. Michael Berry in P14, Elliot Borg in P15, Wes Shear in P16, and Lewis Woodall in the NASCAR livery in P17, and John Fries ran that race earlier in P18.
19th, fellow Hoosier Drew White. 20th, Neil Lusher. 21st, John DeMatteo. 22nd, Nathaniel Johnson. 23rd, Cole Stranahan. And 24th, Connor Baldwin.
And the last few drivers we have, Garrison Hogan, P25. So actually, story with him, he's just going to start last in all of his races. We knew he was really fast at Homestead and all the ovals we've run, but he's kind of learning these cars. And moving on, we also have Angelo Espo, did not qualify, and Mike McCullen didn't qualify. And also we had Gary Gotso in there, didn't qualify, but Gary's up here in the booth right now. So
in-car reporter.
In-car reporter that's not actually out in the car right now. So we're going to have a long pace lap here with that Porsche pace car. So we do actually have plenty of time for this. You never know how much you have on this grid. One of my other leagues that I cover, they do standing starts, so you got to get through that grid really quick.
You got to get.
But luckily, I think they've moved away from the standing start, so they're giving me more time. So this is going to be 40 laps here as 98 miles. Maybe 25 more miles than we did earlier with the Turbo Series. We had one of our drivers talking about doing a 2-stopper, talking to them before the race. I don't know if they're going to do that here. We're going to see if it happens.
Well, you know what they say, so better hope so those plans remain flexible, because you never know when you might need to amend them a little bit.
That's right, and that's kind of what I told them, I think. So, you see how the race is going, and you adjust strategy accordingly. You have plan A going into the race, and then there's plan B and plan C depending on what happens. Some of our drivers from that previous race certainly went to plan B or C after that first corner incident. I have to imagine that Caleb is a little disappointed in his qualifying, though, starting in 7th.
Oh, I love the radio banter. I just heard Okay, someone's going through the
Somebody's
inner
going in the
loop for
boots,
some
yeah.
reason. I'm not sure why
The bus
there.
stop.
But he's booting the cones. But I just heard someone. I think Forsyth said someone just like be careful on the first lap. Don't run into me. And Dakota replies, "I would never run into you." Okay. Oh, love the radio banter.
That's good.
And now someone's asking about, is there a cone on my front wing? Maybe you shouldn't run through the inner loop.
Well, hopefully he didn't put a cone on somebody else's front wing. I'm not seeing anything out there.
I'm not seeing anything either.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure exactly who that was, but the stewards might want to look into that one.
I'm not quite sure the necessity of that one. We'll see. I don't know.
Well, there was that. I'll mention it later. As pace car ducks in, we're gonna have Alex Van Zant take us to the green flag. 40 laps here at Watkins Glen Classic.
Whoa, Julian, big time move down to the inside, almost 3 wide going into turn 1.
So far, so good through first corner. And now we head onto this long through the S's. They're going to have big runs going into the loop section.
They're coming out of, they're coming out of what they call turn 3 here, then the back straight.
As Forsyth is looking inside of Van Zant. These are teammates from another series. I think they're going to be good with one another. It looks like Forsyth is going to take the lead.
It looks like Sanders are going to try to follow him through. They're through the chute, coming up to turn 5 now.
And I see that Sanders slotting into that 3rd position. Altana's. So somebody here, I think it was Albee, has dropped back a couple spots.
That's okay. It's still early. There's no reason to panic if you have to fall back a couple spots.
As Van Zant goes for the lead inside. And
nice change.
He's going to drop back a couple positions. Sanders takes over P2 and Altana takes over P3. Bensi looks like he's going to be ready to have a good slipstream here as well in P5. Who's going to lead it into the loop here?
Side by side. No one's given any quarter here whatsoever. Julian on the outside of Forsyth.
They're 2x2 through the loop there.
And there's Caleb.
I can see Dakota back there in P6 is just kind of saying,
go ahead, take yourselves out.
Go ahead and take yourselves out. Sanders now into the lead. Will lead this lap, so we haven't had first 2 laps, different leaders each lap. And this is what pretty much what I expected out here, folks. This is a wild race.
Yeah, look at the exits out of turn 1. How wide everyone's trying to maintain their speed there. Okay, so I do have push to pass data. Okay. Gavin has 9 left. Van Zant has 8, 10 for Julian, and 9 for Bensi.
As Bensi swipes over the front wing of Forsyth just to defend through the loop. He's up to that 4th position, having started 7th. As Van Zant gets around Sanders as well, will lead this lap, it appears, for the moment anyway. This is the promoters would have said it, that this is going to be a kind of a slipstream pack race of a road course, and so far it's lived up to that. Let's see who leads into the loop here. Sanders is probably going to make a move.
No one's really letting anyone out of their sight right now.
There's a little bit of gap back to 3rd place, but he's still in the slipstream, and you can see Bensi taking a defensive line into the loop as well on Forsyth. Bensi is our championship leader. He's up about almost half a race over everybody else. He's up about 25 points. Just really needs to have a good run, and Caleb knows how to do that. We saw that in TI. We saw that in the first season of Reddit. He won the first couple races and then just cruised to the championship. So Forsyth, having started second, has dropped back
currently,
Forsyth's dropped back to 5th, and now he's under pressure from DeMade, our winner from the Turbo race earlier today.
Julian Purple, 56.223, last time by.
And that'll be maybe 3 or 4 tenths faster than the cars were running in that Turbo race. So Forsyth comes back on the inside, but now DeMade is on the inside as Altena is working on Sanders. He goes into the grass though, but keeps
a little ambitious.
Yeah, keeps it going forward though. I will say that the grass is a little bit more icy than it used to be in these cars, so really good save by Altena there. Oh, and I see somebody...
we got a car sideways into the turn 1 runoff area.
That was
Isidro.
So he gets back up to speed. No contact, so he keeps it going.
So this is called the loop coming up here. This is normally turn 5, what we call turn 5.
Sanders was looking on the inside. Julian Altena also kind of dropped back a little bit with that slight off that he had, but he's back right into the thick of things now.
Yep. And then turn 7 is the final turn before coming back
we've
on.
got Forsyth off as well, but he keeps it on. Just a little bit of grass pickup on those tires, but he keeps it going. Albee gets by him, though.
Yeah, one little bobble is going to cost you big in this race. There's just no doubt about it, the way everything's spaced.
I think that Sanders is going to have a big run on Van de Sande here, but these guys have to hold on to these push-to-passes in this race, though. We're already 7 laps down, so Altena has not used, according to my data anyway, has not used the push-to-pass.
It's not.
Whereas Van de Zande's used 3 of them, and Sanders only used 1 of them. Just 4 cars. This is something you'd usually say you can throw a blanket on those 4 cars on an oval, but not usually on a road course. So great racing we're having here.
Got 5 cars within 2 seconds, and 6 cars, almost 7 cars within 3 seconds. So everyone's really close. One little mistake's going to cost you.
Yeah, and these guys are leaning on these tires. Up here at the front, they're doing really fast laps.
Sanders taking a look to the outside.
No push to pass, as far as I can tell.
Nah, it's probably a wise call at this point in the race. Only 8 laps in, save them.
Yeah, still 32 laps to go.
But certainly with 5 to go, smoke them if you got them.
Yeah, that's right. Altena's going to think about maybe making an outside pass. No, he thinks better of it. He did have issues through this corner earlier into the final corner. And I do think, does Sanders have, he has a different livery this week. He was running the Connor Daly U.S. Air Force livery. Maybe he didn't run it last week, but at Montreal he was certainly running that with that great battle he had with Caleb Bensi. A little bit.
Yeah, came right down the wire in that race.
Yes, he did.
I think the guy in the best position really in this particular group is our Turbo Cup winner, Dakota. He's just kind of watching from ahead. He's watching from afar, actually, at the have to help him, kind of pull him away from 6th place, maintain pace with the first 4, and one of these guys makes a mistake that happens to collect 1, 2, maybe 3 cars, he's right there to capitalize.
That's right, and he's staying within about a second of the leader.
Yeah, it's a very safe and manageable distance. Same thing for Albee. He's probably looking at saying, yeah, it just takes one little bobble for one of these guys to collect 2 or 3 cars, and I capitalize. So might as well just kind of ride it out, especially 9 laps into the stint on these tires. I'm sure they're definitely wearing out. I don't know when we're going to see the first of the pit stops. We've heard 2 stops. We've heard 1 stops people are going to try to do. So we'll yet to see. I think we agreed 24 laps on a single tank. Here we go. It's out the leader. It takes out the championship leader.
That was Bensi, an Altena, and several other cars involved in that. I don't think anybody's going to be happy on that one. And there
No
are,
yellow, no yellow, no yellow.
We're gonna get a replay of this, figure out what happened. I don't know if maybe Altena bobbled a little bit.
Bitsy was a championship point leader.
It looked like Altena might have bobbled over the outside curbing there, but I'm gonna do another replay here. This takes us back a little bit of a ways, but this will be from Bentsy's car. They were so close through that first corner, just a little bobble, and I think Bentsy ran into the back of Altena. Altena had that little bobble. And slammed on the brakes, I think. He took Dakota was involved in that too, unfortunately. I don't think we're going to have a repeat winner here.
Well, we got a challenge for the lead on the backstretch going into the loop.
Well, we'll head back to live pictures. I saw Caleb had made it back to the pits, but I have to imagine that damage is terminal.
Yeah.
So now we are down to 2 at the front. This is a race between Sanders and Van de Zandt at this point. So that's kind of what I know. Dakota was kind of waiting for that, but didn't want to be part of it. And,
that got Albie too. Albie was sitting back there. I was talking about these guys having safe distance, and it came back to bite them. You would figure that was a nice little cushion that they would stake in front of them, and that they would be able to avoid it. But I guess when you're coming around that corner, there's really, when you can't to see necessarily what's going on around that corner, all of a sudden you make that right turn and voila, there's everything in front of you, a calamity and all. I guess there wasn't enough distance there.
Yeah, and it looks to me like Bensy and DeMade are back out. I think we have a fast repair because this is a road course. I think there is a fast repair for these drivers. Whereas on the ovals, we don't run fast repairs.
Well, Bensy came behind the leaders, but he is looks like he is a lap down.
That is right. Yeah, and he had he did make it back to the pits. Let's see, where is Altena in all of this? He is back out on track, but in 20th position. And we've got another car. DeMay just went through that. Was that? Okay, I thought it was Forsyth for a moment, but it was not. Let's see if I can figure out who this was.
Barry?
Drew Barry?
M. Barry?
Trying to get my...
Mike Barry. I saw him kind of drop real quick in the standings.
Okay.
Come on, man. So.
Okay, yep, you're right. You're right. I don't know if... Well, there is a Michael Barry in here, though, but I'm not sure if that was who was in that accident. Anyway, let's see if we can get back to this. He is in the pit. Yeah, it's got to be him. So we're going to get a replay here of Barry. So, so that was the Fawn and Fanny car of Hayden Herman was collected in that. But heads right to the pit, so it actually might not be the end of the world for Hayden. He's back on the track, and he's in 13th position. So he got kind of collected by Barry's car there, and did I say Drew Barry, by the way?
Say Drew Barry.
There you go. I was thinking Drew White. But anyway, back to the lead, Alex Van de Zandt. And Sanders right behind him. And actually, I see Bensy, even though he's a lap down, coming up on this group. He's running faster laps than the leaders. These leaders with these red tires having fallen off, and Bensy having fresh red tires. He's going to have to make another stop here, though. Right at the end. As they drive past some pieces of debris from some other accidents here.
Okay, we have a car that's running damage right now. John Freeze is missing part of his nose cone, and he is struggling to get out of everyone's way and onto pit road. But he is minus a snow cone right now.
Yes, he is.
And he is not happy. He is not happy. I don't blame him.
Let's see if we can get a replay of whatever happened to him. Okay, well, it was right at the end of it there. Oh, wow. Well, he was trying to get his car back out, and he spun out, not sure who that is, but it might have actually been the Mark Berry car, actually repaired.
So Caleb looks like he's driving with a little bit of anger. Has made his way around Sanders, and now he's made his way around Alex. Alex just wisely lets him go. There's no point in holding him up.
Yeah.
Fresher tires and, well, lap down.
So we might be looking at pit stops from the leaders here, though. This lap, the window will open, and we know that Alex is kind of a guru when it comes to knowing exactly when to pit, the strategy, and he'll know that this is kind of the moment, and he's going to have to take black tires. That's the rule here. So the question is going to be, does both Van de Zandt and Sanders pit on the same lap? Nope, they stay out there. So that goes back to the earlier race. I was wondering if it was Cothern in P2 on that one, if he wanted to pit earlier than DeMade and, take advantage of that, try to do an undercut. Sanders has dropped back at this point. Actually, with that said, he seems to have gained back the time that he lost. And he's within a half second at this point.
Slower traffic to the inside, letting them by. That's nice.
Yep. Yeah, these, more than any other road course, really, there has to be a lot of cooperation here with the traffic through the loop. We've got somebody in the kitty litter off of, I believe that's turn 8.
Just bypass pit road again.
Yep.
So we got 12 cars on the lead lap.
I think there was a front wing sitting on the front straightaway as well.
There was a bit of carbon fiber there, virtual carbon fiber.
Delara is going to be happy about this particular race and all the carbon fiber bill that they're going to be replacing parts for.
You imagine if iRacers actually had to pay to have damage fixed. Do you think that there would be a change in driving styles?
Well, I was watching a bit. You know who Nimcross is? He's the chief steward of iRacing. But back when NASCAR Racing 2003 was around, he ran a league where it was kind of a bit of a role-playing league a bit, where they actually did have something like that, where if you damaged this part, you had a fixed amount of money that you had for the season, and you had to pay for that part. And so the safety rating is a little bit of that system in iRacing.
Yeah, I think a lot of people, that would change a lot of people's driving styles.
Yeah,
If they would be financially responsible for their virtual car.
So Forsyth, the first of the leaders to hit the pit lane. Woodall in P4, he started 17th. He'll move into P3 with Forsyth hitting the pit lane, but a really big mover here for him.
Woodall also started on the alternate, the harder compound.
Yeah.
Yes, I believe he did.
Interesting. So he will probably run, to maybe lap 24 and then run the end of the race on the red tires. Okay, Van de Zandt has hit the pit lane. Sanders stays out. So he's going to try the overcut.
So he needs to push right now.
Yeah, I'm not
Woodall's
sure.
19 seconds back, so he hasn't passed pit lane yet, but he'll want to push as well.
So this will be really interesting because we didn't get a chance to see, like what the leaders are going to run on black tires. So we're going to see that on the primes. Like, what can the leaders do?
He's down and away.
Is this a good call for Sanders to stay out and try to do an undercut or an overcut over Van de Zandt? So Van de Zandt back to P4.
But he should be good to go for the remainder of the race, right?
Yes, he is good to go. he basically decided to split the race in half. But what we're going to see, though, is can Van de
To
Zandt...
warm those tires up big time. He's doing the whole weave down the backstretch.
It's basically, so the last lap for Sanders was a 56.9 on those red tires. Ken Van de Zandt, is he going to be able to get into the 56s with these black tires? And if he can, then he's safe. But if he can't, then Sanders might, be able to get out ahead of him.
We're going to get a time for his out lap here.
Yeah. It's going to be the next lap. It's going to be really telling, though. And with that said, Sanders, I think what's going to happen is Sanders is going to maybe come out ahead of Van de Zandt. But
118.193 on that out lap.
But Van de Zandt's going to have hot tires at that point, and Sanders is going to be struggling for grip on fresh tires. As we watch Sanders, he stays out for another lap.
So he went, what was his last lap there?
The last one was a
56.95.
There was a 57.4 was the next
okay,
one.
57.409. There it is. Okay, it just popped up.
It looks like Van de Zandt's coming up to some traffic. It's going to interfere with this strategy he has, though.
Yeah, he's got Garrison Hogan right in front of him.
Okay.
And here's his, let's take a look at this lap here.
I think it's going to be in the 57s. Yeah, it was a 57.
57.056.
Hogan
57.056.
Out of the way. Wise move by him, so we'll see what Sanders can do. Sanders was coming up to some lap traffic, it appeared. Okay, Sanders hits the pit lane.
All right, I got my eye on Alex. He is now entering the loop.
I think they're going to come out side by side. They're going to be going through the S's. That's what I think is going to happen here.
Okay, coming into turn 6 and 7.
Alex had an 8-second pit stop here, so we'll see. That's a quick pit stop.
He's entering 7, exiting 7, front straight.
Okay, Sanders is off of pit lane. He's going to come out ahead of him, but he's going to be struggling for grip with these fresh tires.
Let's pay attention to this, folks. Put your popcorn down.
Yep.
Oh, and there's a car spins out right behind him. It looks like it might have been Hogan.
So Sanders has done the overcut. He's over a second and a half faster, but he's probably he's going to be struggling for grip through the loop here, unless he can bring up that temperature.
Said at this point, it's a second and a half back.
So that was the right call, was to stay out there. It's down to 1.3 seconds now.
Yep. Under 300 feet.
Looks like there's a good battle between Forsyth and Lusher back there as well. I think they're on different strategies. So
yeah, Lusher has not pit yet, but he's going to have to probably pit this lap, I'm willing to bet.
Yep.
Yeah.
Lap 24, I think, was the furthest they could make it.
Yeah, Lusher is on pit road, and he overshot his pit just a little bit, so that's going to hurt him.
Yeah. So I think that Alex has made up enough ground that he's going to stay in the slipstream. So Sanders...
And there's traffic.
Yeah, and there is traffic. And Sanders has used one more push to pass than Van de Zandt has. And it looks like he's gaining a lot on him here, Van de Zandt is. He's right there. He's 0.6 of a second here.
Yeah, he's very fast in those last two corners. That's where he ran me over.
It's actually kind of interesting. I know there's a lot of downforce on this particular setup that they're running, but if you really trimmed out the car for like this long straightaway, you might have a little bit more issues with that final corner than even they're having here. Now
we got two drivers of Sanders. It looks like Johnson and Baldwin, and they are racing for position. And I saw them side by side going into the loop. So you don't, as the leader, you really don't want to see two guys racing for position in front of you necessarily. And right now he's got Alex right on the gearbox.
Yeah, he does. And I don't know, I kind of heard a little bit of a tire scrub or something like that through that corner. That last lap, Alex was 0.3 faster. Well, maybe a little bit less than 0.2 faster than Sanders.
Sanders with the 57.005, and Van de Sant with 56.79.
And Forsyth back there in third place. He's 0.2 of a second.
Yep, Sanders with 5 push to pass, Van de Sant with 6, and Forsyth with 7.
I'm going to go on board here with Alex and have him take us around. Happy Trails Chili Mix Car, lmcgear.com, associate sponsor. I hear Happy Trails Chili Mix is pretty good. Oh, we have a car on the inside line there at the pit entrance.
I'm not sure who that was.
Yeah. Looked like it might have been like a Rossi Auto Nation looking car, but I'm not 100% sure. As the lap traffic ahead. Is that, you said it was Baldwin?
Connor Baldwin. They're already communicating, and Connor's conceding the position, so he's going to let him by. He takes the inside lane, allow the leaders by, so that then
Alex is going to look inside into the loop.
Oh, there we go. I wonder if that cost him. I don't know.
He hit it right at the right place, and he takes over the lead.
So now they set sail for Mark Johnson in that Allenser Jr. livery.
Yep. By the way, speaking of Allenser Jr., Gary, I'm going to correct you on something you said earlier. You said the 93 500. I think that was Emerson Fittipaldi that won that one.
Yeah. So 94 500. It was the one he won.
With the Beast.
Yes, the illegal or not so illegal, engine, yeah.
Well, it was a loophole in the rules.
They took advantage of it, yeah.
And then the rules were amended for the next season.
Amazing. So Sanders is right there. He's not letting them go. Alex has taken the defensive inside position. I don't know if we're on push to pass or not, but he is right there.
I think these guys are saving their push to pass because, for lap 35 to 40. Oh, we had a slow car there. I don't know who that was.
Yeah.
Luckily they were out of the way.
Yeah, got out of the way, yeah. And that's that Jeff Gordon IndyCar.
That's Drew White.
Yeah.
We know that one. It's easy to spot, and Dakota painted that livery for him.
And now they're coming up to our favorite livery, I'll be here.
Yeah, I'll be, through no fault of his own, involved with that, I don't know what lap that was on, maybe lap 10. Incident between Altena, Bensi, DeMade, and Albie got involved in that one too. So he's
basically half of the top 10 as it ran right there.
Yeah, right there. Not what we wanted to see. I feel like Sanders dropping back just a little bit, but I mean it's tenths of a second.
Albie's back at 17th. I'm going to imagine once the leaders get there, he'll move over. He's not racing Johnson for position. Johnson is in 9th. Johnson actually is racing Lusher, who is about another 4 seconds ahead of him. So really these guys, once they get to him, the smartest thing to do is just to move over, let the leaders by, and maintain your speed and your pace so you could continue the race with the guy ahead of you on the track.
So somehow Caleb's in 9th, even though he was involved with that incident. And he had actually just done a pit stop as well. That was his second pit stop. He was going to have to stop for fuel. And he had taken red tires. Now he's on to the blacks, it looks like.
Yep.
But yeah, that's a kind of a championship drive there for him to have that issue and currently be running in the top 10.
Never give up.
Never
Every
give up.
position counts. Every position matters. And at the end of the season, you don't know what what tiebreaker it might fall to. You just keep pushing and pushing and pushing. There are times where people are like, I'm out of this. I'm just going to park it. I'm frustrated. Get out there, keep turning laps. Turn it into a test session if you need to. But whatever it is, if you can make up positions, those are just points that are going to award you and reward you later down the line.
So going back to our turbo race, we had our first and second position pretty much have completely different lines, but it seems to me that both Alex and Gavin here are kind of running that a similar line, and they're going wide out of turn one, that exit over the curbing. As Albie gets out of the way for these leaders, we've got 10 laps to go here. Let's do a quick through the field if we can, just to get some spotlight on all of our drivers out here. We've got obviously Van de Zandt, followed by Sanders, followed by Forsyth. He's about 15 seconds back from this group, but he dropped back to 6th or 7th, started second. But with that unfortunate incident, he's made up ground and he's in third. Wes Shear in P4. He's in that Homestead coffee car. And I'm not 100% sure, but he might be running the race first on that car. We appreciate if he is. He'd asked me about that, and I don't know if he had made it onto the car yet.
He's up 12. Up 12 positions from the start, so he's doing real well.
I see a turbo logo on that car for Schaeffer's, though, too. Lewis Woodall, good. He's up 12 positions as well.
Yep.
Good battle here between him and Shear. Cosgrove started 10th. He's running 6th, representing Club Indiana. He's a Hoosier there in a Team Penske livery. Followed by Neil Lusher. He started 20th, and he's in 7th.
13, yeah.
A really good run by him, and he's in that Lotus Olympus black and gold livery.
Classy.
Indeed. Followed by Mark Johnson. He's in there with leaders. Leaders got around him. He's in that AJ. I was about to say AJ Unser, but Al Unser. And then Bensi, as we talked about earlier, somehow running in the top 10. So, he drove it back to the pits. I think he had one wheel, and he got those repairs that he needed. And he's
taking a look to the outside, coming down to the loop on Van de Zandt.
Okay. Yep.
Can't quite pull it off.
Can't quite pull it off. That's followed by Connor Baldwin in 10th. Drew
14.
Drew White, we talked about him. He's in 11th. Adam Nash, not sure where he is. He's in 12th. There he goes. He was one we saw off earlier. But Hayden Herman running that.
Going through the final turn, the leaders. Sorry, didn't mean to cut you off, but looks like Sanders finally got the position and now has the position on for the lead.
Yeah, and I think that Alex had to back out of it, it looked like there. Let me quickly get a replay if I can of that. Yeah, I think Sanders just had a better line going through there and forced Alex inside, so he had a pass for the lead there. Good thing you were watching that, Gary.
All right, Sanders with the defensive position. He's holding it to the inside. Van de Zandt drives it in deep into the loop. Wow! They're side by side. They're going to be side by side on exit. Sanders holds the position.
Side by side.
Now, this time, Van de Zandt has a position going into this turn, but the next turn, and, well, he lit Van de Zandt by, but if he was able to hold his position, Sanders would have had the position for the next turn. So we have a swap back for the lead. And we got now 6 laps to go.
And it looks like Alex goes defensive a little bit on that straightaway. Tucks it back in line, though. And now we're going to see Sanders making a comeback here. So we did our through the field there. Got as much as we could. But we want to focus on this great battle here we have for the lead. Looks like Alex is going to get a little bit of a tow here from whoever that is ahead of them.
Lucker, who is last car in the lead lap.
Yep.
So he's going to want to drive for all it's worth to stay on the lead lap. He's on red tires, though, so there. Oh, there he goes. He's going to pull over, concede, allow the leaders by. His tires are probably spent. But in the meantime, he might lose a position to Johnson, so we'll see what happens there.
He was our last car to pit, I believe. Lusher was. So he's if he's running reds, or since he's running reds, he's at least on the newest reds possible. You know, he's probably 8 laps. Let me see. I can even see it here.
Actually, and Bensy is now up to 8th as he's passed Johnson, and now he has Lusher in front of him. Bensy might make its way up to 7th.
Yeah, Lusher was for position for Bensy. Sanders looks like he's going to be trying to make a move once again into the loop here. And does not make it work. Actually, I was thinking back. I know Alex and Craig, Jim Herrick's out there, lmcgear.com, a sponsorship, doing a shout out for his drivers. Obviously, no teammates here in this league, but Craig and Alex run for him. But I know that Craig and Alex actually had run a race. It might have been the DW12s, but they ran a race here on this particular track. So they have some experience here. So it's helping them both out here to this week. Push to passes are even between, as we're down to 4 laps to go. I was looking at push to passes. We're on 4 push to passes remaining. So I wouldn't be surprised if Sanders starts using them here. Or whoever's in P2 anyway. He didn't use it there though. Maybe he knows, if he watched that race from earlier, the turbo race, he knows that Dakota had 2 push to passes on that final lap, and that's the way to go. Looks like, okay, Alex goes defensive on the straightaway. I don't know if he's actually doing that to break up the draft or just trying to, you know, fluster Gavin a little bit. But I don't think he will be. Oh, we lost Gary. Might have disconnected or something. So it's just me here by myself. 3 laps to go. Alex goes defensive. Weaving on the back straightaway here into the loop. They go. So Alex used a push to pass there on that straightaway, but Gavin did not. So now Gavin has 1 in the bank. He's got 4. It looks like we've got Gary back in the booth here.
It looks like Discord decided it was going to have a little bit of a hiccup on me.
Yeah, I saw you left, and it's all good. We got it covered here.
No way we're walking away from this finish. 3 laps to go.
3/10. So last lap, Alex used one of his push to passes, but Gavin did not. Gavin is on his push to pass here, though. Alex is not on his push to pass. He's going to go wide into the loop. It's going to have to make it stick on the outside, though.
Diving deep. Diving deep.
I have to wonder if maybe this section here might be the better place to make that pass, because Alex is forcing the second place car, you know, into the outside lane, into the loop. So once again, they're even on push to passes, as we have 2 laps to go. Actually, sorry, final lap here. They both have 2 push to passes.
Oh, goes wide, wide, but he's back on it.
I'm gonna go on board and see push to passes here. He is on it, but so is Alex. But he's got that slipstream, does Gavin Sanders.
There, he's going to be on that. He's going to be on that gearbox. By the time we get there, he's going to pop out here. He's popping out. Yeah, I just don't see him. Oh, they make contact, and there's your race right there.
There is the race right there.
And we have a radio apology from Alex, which I understand. That might have been some netcode too. I didn't really see a lot of hard contact, so we'll have to go back to the replay and check that. But final corner, checkered flag awaits Alex Van de Sant, and a win at Watkins Glen.
Wins the race, followed by, well, we don't have Craig Forsyth.
Forsyth will go.
I see that Sanders is back there. He's going to try to finish this one up. I don't think he's going to make it, though. And we're going to have Lewis Woodall, if he can bring it home. Wes Shear right on him. Good battle here into the final corner. They're going to be side by side. Oh, and Wes gets into the wall there.
Yeah, he'll need to turn the car around. He wants to finish this race.
Oh, he just needs to get past. We've got more cars. Wow. Wes is going to get by. Well, I want to go back and look at that replay, though, with Alex here before we get people into the booth here. I want to see what happened there. I think it's going to be netcode, though. I'm going to go on board with the chase view and see if I can see anything here.
Race control saying that's netcode.
Yeah, here we go. I'm watching it now. It looked like netcode live. Yeah, there was like literally a foot or two between the drivers. So give us a moment and we're going to interview our podium finishers. And we are back. We're going to pull up our race champion into the booth here. Hey, Alex, got you in the booth. This is Matt and Gary up here.
Hey there.
How's it going? Congratulations on this victory.
Thank you.
Yeah. Tell us about that final lap.
Yeah, it was about half a foot of netcode as far as I can tell. I feel bad that it happened. I mean, it was a great battle until then, so I feel bad he lost second. But, yeah, I mean, props to Gavin. That was an awesome race, though.
Yeah, just on a quick review, I could kind of tell even live that it looked like it was netcode, but I quickly did a chase cam on it, and it also looked like netcode, so I think it's that. But you guys put on a great battle. You pit at lap 20, and he ran and did the overcut on you, but you were able to come back from that.
Yeah, I was able to catch him. Like, I still had the draft, and then he was pretty conservative setting it into the outer loop, so I was able to take advantage of that, and yeah, just hold the lead.
Hey, well, no teammates here in the Reddit series, but LMCgear.com boss Jim Herrick out there in the crowd tonight cheering on you and his other driver, Craig Forsyth. So a really good run for you guys. Yeah, 1-2. And I know I was mentioning, not to cut you off or anything, but I was mentioning to Gary that I knew that you both had experience running here. It might have been DW12s, but I knew you ran here.
I punted Craig for the win. Again, netcode. That was a bit worse than this case. But yeah, no, Craig and I worked well together. We gave each other toes in qualifying and were able to lock out the front row.
So you did have a little bit of teammate orders there on this one.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations. I don't remember where you finished at Homestead, but you've had a little bit of a rough season here in Reddit, and this win has to feel pretty good for you.
Yeah, it's definitely one of my better road course runs. I got 5th at Homestead, which somehow, with the damaged car, and a mediocre finish at Montreal, and a bad finish. I wrecked at Michigan, so yeah. Good recovery so far. As long as I keep this up, I still feel pretty good for the championship.
Yep. Well, congratulations. Next week, Indianapolis, new tire model, so it'll be a little bit different than maybe what it was previously.
Yes, I've already done an Indy 500 on the new tire model.
Oh, okay.
So it's a bit different, but but definitely easier to manage the tires throughout the stint. So it'll be interesting.
Hey, any shout outs to sponsors? Happy Trails, hot chili mix there?
Happy Trails Chili, as well as lmcgear.com. And then again, big thanks to Craig for working with me.
Sounds good. Well, congratulations, Alex, on the victory. And we'll pull up your teammate there.
Sweet, thank you.
Yep.
Congrats.
Hey, Craig. Matt up here in the booth. How are you doing? Congratulations on P2.
Thank you, boys. Can't complain. I'm a little surprised. I'm a step higher than I expected to be. That was unfortunate for Gavin, that's for sure. But the Forsyth machine will take it, that's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, you qualified really well here. You were in, but then you did get shuffled back at one point in time. I think you were 6th or 7th. Then there was that accident with basically what.
Tell us about what you saw in front of you when that happened.
I think I live a blessed life because I come around just as I was coming around turn 1. Alex had told me there was an accident happening, and as soon as I saw all the smoke, I let off. I mean, at this track, if you lose the draft, you're never catching up again. But it's better to lose the draft of the leaders than to crash. So I just had to accept it was better to get safely through that. You know, I think I came out immediately 7 seconds behind Alex and Gavin, at which point, you know, they're gone. But I was alive, which is what mattered.
That's right. Well, are you going to be here next week for the Indianapolis race?
I'll be here for every race.
Okay, well, didn't you miss a race? I thought there was a race that you might have missed. Maybe it was Dark Horse or something like that. Because I
admit I don't recall. No, as far as the qualifying goes, I mean, this track rewards drafting. Mm-hmm. So, and in a 15-minute open format, it was just Alex and I decided we were just going to keep flipping back and forth, you know, giving each other the draft, and that turned out to be just consistently doing that lap after lap is what got us 1-2 on the qualifying.
Well, lmcgear.com teammates. Jim was out there in the watching you guys tonight, so I think he's pretty happy with you guys running together there, 1-2 in the end.
Sweet.
Well, maybe you guys get a little bit of reward there from him.
I'll have to talk to him about that.
Yeah. Well, congratulations there, Craig. Good run, and we'll see you next week at Indianapolis.
You betcha, boys. You guys all stay safe.
Thank you. Have a happy New Year as well.
Yeah, that's true. Stay extra safe tomorrow night.
That's right. All right. Well, we have Lewis Woodall, our 3rd place finisher, also going to be coming up. Hey, Lewis, this is Matt up in the booth. How you doing?
I'm doing fine.
Congratulations on 3rd position. How are you feeling going into the race? You started 17th and you finished 3rd.
Yeah, well, I qualified on the primary tires, so I could go on the primaries in the race. I think there was a glitch actually, because I think you could have qualified on the alternates and then started on the primaries, but it doesn't matter. I did that because I wanted to have the alternates at the end, and I had no business being in the top 10.
Well, you were, and looking at your lap times, you know, like your best lap is, you know, it's in the 56s, so that's not too bad. I know you're throwing shade on yourself, but that's pretty good.
Yeah, it was pretty good, but it wasn't like, if there hadn't been that pile up in front of us, I think there were about 5 cars of the leaders. I think I would have been a lot lower down because I didn't have the pace, but I had the consistency and I've did the Rex.
Well,
and
congratulations.
A fantastic battle with Wes.
Yeah, we did see that, and Wes got into the barrier right there at the end.
Yeah,
but
he got loose.
Yeah, we had.
I'm a bit more of an oval guy. Me, road courses aren't really my thing. I mean, I do go karting over here in England, but like, yeah, it's more ovals that I'm good at. So to get a podium on a road course is a bit. What?
Well, me and Gary, maybe you want to say it, Gary.
What, the NASCAR livery?
No.
You gotta love the NASCAR livery, man. You can't diss it.
This is a different NASCAR livery than the other one, though. So, no, what I was going to say was that we were talking about as a storyline was that this particular road course kind of favored the road courses more than, say, Montreal did or any other road course we might be running.
This particular road course in this configuration tends to favor the oval racer with your high-speed corners, a lot of repetitive action. You got to be good on your rhythm on this particular track, otherwise it's going to bite you. You can't just hustle the car like you can on a lot of other road courses and make up time where you lose time. Here, if you lose time in one corner, you lose time for the entire lap, and it's like that for an oval. So I think this particular configuration of this particular track rewards an oval racer like you, like me, and like some other folks. So I definitely think that worked to your advantage, but I think your performance would be better if you weren't using a NASCAR livery.
I don't know, no, because it's minus 50 on the road courses, but plus 50 on the ovals. So I got to get like where I'm good even better, so I can win.
There you go.
We'll even it out. All right, to go. Congrats,
yeah, well, congratulations. This is gonna, I would assume, jump you up pretty far in the point standings. So this is gonna be a good haul for you.
Well, I didn't even attempt Montreal, and I was moving for the last race.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, but it will jump me up a lot.
Yeah. Well, we'll see you back at Indianapolis here in a week's time, hopefully. And anybody you want to shout out to that's watching out there? It's a little late for you over there, so maybe now there isn't anybody.
I don't think there's anybody watching, but I'd like to shout out, obviously, the people in the booth, you two, and the people in race control, like keeping the races going, and the people who run them.
Very cool. Well, we appreciate broadcasting you guys, and you guys putting a good show on for us.
Thank you.
So it's not all bad for Dakota. He did have the fast lap.
Oh, did he?
He 56.152 for the race. He set that at lap 29. You know, that wasn't an early lap or race. He set that mid race, probably in the middle of and everything. So he salvaged somewhat of a day. I'm sure he wanted more out of that, especially how the day started for him. But still having the fast lap out of this particular cars we're talking. When we got 30. Well,
27.
Actually 26 or 27 cars. Actually, well, I'm showing 26 started. So to have the fast lap out of that many number of cars, still nothing to be sad about. Although I'm sure he really wanted a better performance other than being a lap down in 11th.
Well, yeah, him and Caleb and him after that accident, they're the ones that came out of it in the best shape, I suppose. Julian was back there in 18th, so didn't get out of it as good as everybody else. Let's go through the final standings, though.
Yeah.
So Alex Van de Zandt, our winner, followed by Craig Forsyth, Lewis Woodall. Those are the three drivers that we interviewed right there. Wes Shear, he had that incident, but brought it home in fourth. On that final lap, he had that incident. Matthew Cosgrove in fifth. Gavin Sanders, the other car that had that for the lead incident, brings it home in sixth. I don't know if he actually, I don't think he actually crossed the line, but
that's why he's a lap down. I think he had to call for the tow.
Yeah, I think he had to call for the tow, but anybody else a lap down wasn't going to finish ahead of him. So Caleb had a good recovery run here, finishing in seventh. Mark Johnson eighth. Neil Lusher 9th, Adam Nash in 10th, and Dakota, also a good recovery drive by him, but obviously he's going to be really disappointed after that start of the night started in a victory. He'll have to go back and try again for the doing the double victory. Might happen, though, next week if some of our drivers, our Cup drivers, decide to do that Indianapolis race with you guys, Gary. And are you going to be starting that one? We'll see if anybody can do a double there. Drew White in 12th, Connor Baldwin 13th, Christopher Albee, our Papyrus IndyCar Racing 2 livery guy in 14th, Dylan Blanton in 15th. As I accidentally pull up the grid here, don't want that. Want the results.
That's right. I got 16th, Elliot Borg there, 17th, and Garrison Hogan. 18th is Julian Altina. 19th is Nicholas Isidoro. We got 20th, it's Nathaniel Johnson. 21st, Hayden Herman. 22nd, John Fries. 23rd is Angelo Espo. 24th is Michael Berry. 25th is John Mateos. Dave Mateo, excuse me. 26 is Cole Stranahan, and that's where we're going to stop there.
We did have a Mike McCullen start there, and for whatever reason, it's showing up at the bottom of the list. But he did start the race and
Start Park.
Yeah. So congratulations, Alec Van de Zandt. Next week, big race of the season is Indianapolis 300 here in the Schaeffer's Cup. We'll start the night with the Schaeffer's Turbo Series running 55 laps. I don't know what the mileage count on that one is, Gary. But we're running 120 laps.
Now, hold up. There you go. 55 times 2.5 equals 137 and a half.
Okay. Well, that's 5 more laps than the fixed series run, so that could be interesting to see these turbo guys running that. And they're going to be running the IR18, so we'll see you guys. That'll be next week on the Wednesday, a big race of the season. So I hope we have everyone out there. Make sure to hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit that bell, and be notified of these races. So I hope everyone watching out there has a happy new year. Hope you have a safe and happy new year too, Gary, and look forward to a better 2021.
Oh, that's for sure. Thanks for having me here in the booth and get to call this with you. Thanks for all the racers that put on a great show. Everybody watching from home that likes, shares, and subscribes. Thank you very much. Hope everyone has a safe and continues to have a safe and healthy holiday and Happy New Year. And I'll have a special hometown home game in Indianapolis next week. So we'll hope that brings out some good luck for me. But I'm ready to go for Indianapolis. Let's get next Wednesday here now.
Sounds good. Well, we'll take us out with some Schaeffer Oil advertising, but Schaeffer Oil, racing is in their blood. It's what they love. At Schaeffer, their racing products help racing teams spend less resources on replacing parts and changing fluids and more time on the track.
Ever since I've switched to Schaeffer's Oil, I've never had a reason to even try anything else. And that's one thing that I'm proud about, is the fact that I can't tell you how good something else is, because I know how good Schaeffer's Oil is. My engine builders, Tony and Glenn Clements, have said about the oil we run. They've told us that out of all the motors that they get and rebuild every year, ours looks the best, and a lot of that has to do with the oil that we run. One of the things that I love about Schaeffer's Oil is the fact that all of their reps are out in the field and at the racetracks with us, seeing what all the racers need, seeing what ideas we have or anything that we can improve on. And you just can't beat the customer service of having a rep for, one of the main components of our race team, whether it's at our engine oil, transmission fluid, rear end oil, having somebody there that represents that brand and also gives us some support and also the knowledge that we need to be making the right calls and just helping us out with our entire racing program. It means a lot to our race team to have that. My name's Chris Ferguson, and I drive the number 22 dirt late model. I've been using Schaeffer's Oil racing products since 2009. I absolutely have no doubt that we're using the best products that is possible for dirt late model racing.
There's 2 types of drivers out there. Drivers who know how to protect their investment, and drivers who don't. Car owners who know how to get more miles per gallon, and owners who don't. We're talking people who know their Schaeffer, and people who don't. Which one are you? From cars to trucks to diesel workhorses, whatever you drive, there's a Schaeffer synthetic oil for you. Do you know your Schaeffer? Ask for it at an automotive retailer near you.